Uh-oh. There was not a whole lot of oil on that shot. What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday. How's it going? Interesting time to go live because NFL football is going right now, so we might not get very good viewership, but that's okay. Whoa! Did you guys see that? That was an 8-pin that went down, that stood up, that went down. What's up, Trey? What's going on, everyone? Right now we're doing a big giveaway. If you're interested in doing the giveaway next week, I'm gonna put the link in the description or in the comments. Just put it in the comments. Big giveaway. 9 bowling balls are at stake. 1 ball a day. Grand prize winner wins a 3-ball arsenal. So if you're interested in a free giveaway, click that link. It's absolutely free. If you notice, I'm on a different lane today. If you've been in here the last couple of days, you'll notice I am on a different lane. Because, hello from Missouri. What's up? The Bearded Bowler, what's up? Real MC. Do you know why Jason Belmo doesn't go to the Copperfield Bowling Alley for Pro-Am? You mean the Lucy? He's done it plenty of times. Oh, this is going to be the time. This isn't a 300 stream, but this is going to be the time I shoot 300. Glenn Kamita. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for donating. I appreciate that. I really appreciate the donations, guys. Yeah, so how's it going? What's everyone up to today? The NFL has started, so I suppose we're rooting for some teams. However, my team has a big game today. Big game today. Chiefs versus the Bills. It's in Buffalo. And, wow, I got a lot of close games. Vikings, Lions, tied. Giants up on the Niners. Jackson Dart, dude. Coming in hot. Theo Johnson, I started him. I picked him up and then started him. And DJ Moore has 11 already. I'm up to 50-50 now against T-Rob. Right now I'm playing Trevor Roberts in fantasy football this week. And he got lucky on me. Not really lucky, but Mark Andrews Thursday night had a pretty good game. And this is I've got Antonio Brown out, Harold Fannin out, McLaurin out, Travis Hunter out, Pacheco out, Stevenson out. So I don't even have any subs. This is literally my last team. And but I'm getting really lucky in this league, so I'm due to have someone crush me. 3 in a row. DJ Moore just threw a TD pass. Wow, this is kind of the first time he's really produced for me. Can't wait for the tour season, Brad. Need some TV shows out of you, okay? Well, why don't you teach me how to do that? Teach me how to make some TV shows. I'd be really appreciative of that. I'll tell you what it does look like is you're not throwing it bad making TV shows. Generally, if you're bowling good enough to make a TV show, everyone in the world would watch you throw a shot and go, wow, that was crisp. I brought in an original RST this time. I've got a Rockstar amped and then an original Rockstar. I'll grab that. This original Rockstar pinned down was the ball that I threw at Nationals this year on the team pattern. I threw this ball in the team pattern. And the team pattern was borderline impossible. And this ball gave me some room. I couldn't believe it. Still plenty of hook. Maybe I should do a few foul line drills, you know? I preach it. I can tell I've bowled quite a bit past couple days because I got some muscles that are a little sore. Ooh. Brutal 9-pin. Terry McLaurin is about as useful as short oil this season. Dude, I know, man. My team's really not that great. I got Herbert as quarterback. He's been playing pretty good. And I got Bijan Robinson. He's my #1 pick. Dennis tried to make a trade with me about Josh Jacobs, which Josh Jacobs' numbers are decent. He wanted to trade me Bijan Robinson and Matt Golden. Those are my two. For Deebo Samuel and Josh Jacobs, which is actually not a bad trade. But it shows that he thinks Bijan's going to be better than Jacobs, which he might. And I think it also shows that he likes Golden. So that means I kind of like Golden. I think we could shoot a 300 on whatever's out. Yesterday, no. Bills win? Are you kidding me? I mean, let's see. If you're Josh Allen, you hate losing to the Chiefs. You're at home. You got all your tools. This is, what, the 6th year you matching up against this guy now? 7th year? I root for the Chiefs heavily, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills won, to be honest. What's the percentage of EJ Tackett winning another world championship? What percentage would I give EJ winning the world championship? Well, the percentage I would give him of making the show, the world championship's at the World Series. In the World Series, what'd they do this year? 4 patterns for 10 games a day. Was it 10 games a pattern? So 40 games of qualifying. So plus then you go into match play. There's 24, so 64 games, 70 games. It's probably a 95% chance he makes the show. And then it just depends on if he's the #1 seed. He, I don't know, has a pretty good chance. If he's the 5 seed, has a pretty good chance. I don't know. For him to win, 25% chance. Maybe 4 other people win that tournament. But you got 20% chance. Give him 30% chance. What would that pay? And my ball stuck. No, that's not. RST. Oh, with the light hit. Come on, baby. Come on. Need a ball back. Got it. I'll take this chance to say thank you. You two taught me so much about bowling, being a beginner bowler. I'm 2 years in, and now my league average is a steady 200. Thank you. You're welcome. The bearded bowler. You are welcome. Hi, Brad from Virginia. Coming to Rochester next weekend for the Bud Light Classic? No, I'm going to be in Vegas. Be in Vegas, man. I love the Bud Light Classic, though. How many new balls will Storm release before Steel City event? Can't wait to see you guys and get some learning. Can't wait to see you, Ryan. Appreciate you for signing up. Making your spares doesn't hurt for making shows also. Yeah, dude. You can't miss spares. And 210's a makeable. Manitoba. Were you rooting for the Blue Jays last night? Better get 90 degrees axis rotation. All right, I got you. Here's my Pete Weber 90 degrees axis rotation. Wow, how do I even? That was not at all what I. That was a. Try to throw like Pete Weber, ended up throwing like Tom Baker. Best year on tour 2020. COVID year. And then it just killed all my drive once COVID hit. Look at this thing. Wow. I don't even know how to get that much. I don't even know how to get a lot of axis rotation. It just like spins. Strike for show, spare for dough. What do you and Kyle do with all the balls you get from Storm? How do you decide on which ones to keep? Yeah, we give them away. We give them away to our members. So if you're a member, we'll sign a bunch of our used ones, and we probably ship 100 out a year. I'm going to bowl so much on strings that I'm actually going to get used to them. Felt sorry for me losing to Belmo. That guy is something else. How does the PBA decide where to have an event? It's all scheduling. Depends on who wants it, who has what, who. They've had a lot of relationships so far, you know, but not the perfect ball speed or rev anymore. You wish you can get a staff deal for balls. I wouldn't even want a ton. 2 or 3 a year maybe were fine with me. Okay, so I would imagine most bowlers would fit that category, though. You don't need a lot. You just need a couple. So that person particularly, there's thousands of those out there. And you really, at this point, have to do social media. If you don't, then there's no point. There's literally 0 point in giving someone a ball contract that doesn't do social media versus someone that does. Because so many people do social media now that it's just a no-brainer to go there. Haha. It's Rockstar Amps. I'm going to drill another one. I think I might drill one pin down. Any tips for when you are mentally struggling on the lanes instead of physically? Man, I got no tips for you. The thing that I'm working on or trying to do better or whatever is just be healthier, sleep better, stop putting junk in my body. Just trying to figure out what foods work with me and whatnot. This oil is kind of thick that they use up here. It's like you throw 5 shots and your bow's just $40 to drill a ball on tour. I wish the PBA tour would come out to Southern California, but unfortunately, it seems like lanes are closing around here. Are there a lot of lanes closing out there? So, I mean, I've bowled on tour 14. I've never bowled in California. I bowled in California one time for a youth tournament in the Firecracker. It was in between Junior World Team Challenge and Junior Gold. And I went out there. My buddy Ryan Council was from there in Ventura. So Bold and Ventura. And we did a clinic in Redlands. But, you know, we go out there. And Kyle gets a lesson with Mark Baker. So we're kind of hanging out talking to Mark Baker. And I don't know. It's like when you're, I don't know if it's like the movies or whatnot. But like as a guy from like Kansas City, Missouri, when I think about the West Coast and LA, I think about like sunshine, rich, wealth, this kind of thing. So it's just interesting talking to people that like have lived there their whole lives. Mark Baker's lived there his whole life. Like Missouri would be so boring. Like it almost ruins every other state. There's no bugs, right? Ocean, mountain, literally anything you want. Mine is just showing you how to have fun, family bowling challenge videos, and journey to the PBA 50. Yeah, it's whatever. It's whatever you want it to be. It could be literally whatever you want it to be, but you have to reach people because there's just people in the industry now that can reach a lot of people. And there's eventually going to be someone who can reach more people than the PBA, Storm. Like there's going to be someone that breaks the internet to where they have like an insane amount of reach. Oh. Keep fingers in it longer, Brad. Project 2 dots. Stand up on it, buddy. Make bowling affordable again. Yeah, I'm pretty fortunate just to get balls and bowling for free. You know, just bowling for a little while every day the past 3 or 4 days, I feel the swing feels quite nice. My channel slogan is bowling on a budget. Yeah, you should drive around whatever state you live in. You should drive around to all the bowling alleys in the state and try and like bowl a 700 series or something. And then you could like just talk about the, you know, you can get a burger for $4 and you know, you got to shoot 700 in a really cool bowling, old unique bowling center, and it cost me $22. You can call it Chasing 700. Spotted Norm at the gym this morning. What? You live in Claremont? Norm just hanging out at the gym? $500 for 3 to bowl. $500 for 3 to 4 balls a year subscription. It can be done. They just don't want to do it. You mean the ball companies have like some kind of subscription? Ah! Duke and Walter Ray, yeah. Walter's in, where's Walter? Where is he? Ocala. I don't know if he still lives there, but they all chose Florida. Nelson Burton Jr. is down there at Jensen Beach Bowl. Scottsdale, Arizona. Dude, that's a... they have a lot of bowling alleys, don't they? Leesburg, Bowling Claremont, and Jim is there. Only see him on Sundays. He's in there early. Nice. Yeah, that's cool. I need to get down there and see him again. Oh. The thing about Pete Weber and throwing it like him that kind of amazes me is he uses 2 slippery shoes. Oh, I can't even get my hand under it. Pocket 4-7. Holy cow. Like his right shoe, his sticky shoe, is supposed to, supposed to stick here to be able to push into the slide. His is slippery. So he's ice skating up there. He's just, I can't believe it, actually. The more I think about it, every time I think about he has no grip on either of his shoes. So, man, that's just how little muscle that guy uses. I need a rosin bag. I'm kind of a fan of the Giants. This Jackson Dart. It's kind of crazy. And that sucks for Scatabo that he gets injured and he was like getting ready to run the city. Man, I feel the body feels way better today than at least the last couple days. Don't have a ton of tightness. Those couple last shots, I've been getting a little, not like lower with my legs, but a little bit more separation between my lower body and the height of my swing. Be what they call like a little bit more loaded. Try and use the old legs more. Go Pack Go, huh? Are they winning? Oh, string pins are just funny. I remember the video when Pete won the tournament and he broke his trophy. The trophies are expensive. So that was the U.S. Open. He had his like doing this and it just drops right in front of him. Yeah, that was crazy. Crazy. It's crazy to win the U.S. Open, you know? Oh, that was pretty good. Pro shops offer subscription? Yeah. I'm not so sure like the pro shops can really offer a whole lot. Like they're kind of jammed. Because if they offer too good of a deal, they don't make a ton of money. But then they can't go too expensive because people just go down the street. Unless you're good. Go Pack Go. Okay, so Titans up on the Chargers. How about that? 49ers, okay. Just slammed 2 touchdowns on the Giants real quick. Cam Ward coming in hot. We got the Vikings. Is McCarthy back? McCarthy's back. They're up 7 with the ball against Detroit. Man. Let's go, KC. How am I bowling good this year? Original Equinox? It's pretty good. I actually threw it in Chicago this year at the doubles. And it tips to increase rev rate. Just bought an RST hyperdrive and can't get a big reaction out of it. Seems like the ball slides down the lane and slightly reacts. You gotta get your hand under it. You gotta like use this part of like the forearm. Like you really gotta use it. And that's one of the things that I have to do quite a bit before something like the tour is I got to get this thing strong, because if it's weak and you're building it as you're touring, you're missing some shots and you're falling behind. And I've been pretty weak the last couple of years just from just not throwing a million shots, you know. But yeah, you got to get your hand under it. But it's easier to increase your rev rate the slower you throw it. So when you go into practice, slow the ball down a lot until it just hooks so much, and then pick your speed back up. So don't necessarily think about rev rate yet. Don't think about rev rate until you can actually drop your ball speed down enough to where you pick the 7-pin off clean. So do this. And then pick your ball speed up, pick your ball speed up, pick your ball speed up, pick your ball speed up. Our two-handed bowling video helped me a lot. How? I'm the worst two-handed bowler on the planet. I tell you what not to do. Any of the centers I bowl in have their own merch? I've seen some I've seen a lot of places have their own merch. You met me at Chipotle once. Nice. I think I remember that, actually. Do I bowl every day before a tournament? No. I mean, I would try to, but... Wow. When there's a lot of angle in the ball through the pins with string pins, it really looks interesting. Like, I don't think I can make the twisters out there. They have twister pins out there, which is kind of weird. You got my lunch. Yeah, I should. I think. Was it a while ago? Is bowling backwards illegal in a tournament? I don't know. I'm gonna try it. Good news is I can see myself. You still trying to throw 12 strikes in a row or not? Yeah. If I get there. Our last 6 shots have been a big 4, a 5-pin, a gutter, a strike, a big 4, a gutter, and now. Yeah, so I got to come into the tour this year pretty unbelievably good. Have I thought about switching to two-handed? Yeah, of course. Every one-hander has thought about switching to two hands. We could be witnessing the death of the one-handed. I hate to really think of it like that, but if the conditions stay, if all the conditions stay exactly how they are right now, the one-handed style might be dead. I just don't see a place where it would ever be better. So yeah, definitely. But it's not easy, you know. It's still, you got to do a lot of work. Dang. Come back to Kansas City at Lunar Bowl, dude. I wish they would come back. Yeah, EJ, man, I've never seen anything like that guy, man. He shocks me every time I watch him bowl. What's a good ball to complement the original Equinox for a typical house shot lead? Um, the it just depends. Like, you want to complement it on the lower side, you already have a pearlized cover. So if you want to go like this Rockstar Amp, it kind of depends on if you want like a more solid cover. The Ion Pro is weaker. I think that's one of the best like grouping balls down on the lower inside where there's just not a ton of strength there. Ion Pro Solid or Ion Pro, either one. There's a Phase 2. I am bowling on string pins. Might be one-handed as the dinosaur. Yeah, two-handed bowling's not perfect though. You know, so there's the one-handed style provides a lot of advantages. They're just not useful. Like spares. You would take a one-handed bowler over a two-handed bowler any day on spares. But there's this thing called a plastic ball. So if that ever went away, then you couldn't be two-handed. But like basically like a lower rev rate, the advantages you would get there are like the ability to play straight and your spares and your like kind of overall control of the ball in the back part of the lane. But there's pieces that go dead straight that allow a super high revolution guy to potentially be the best spare shooter in the world. So as long as that's the case, because Belmo's an incredible spare shooter, man. I mean, it's like you give a guy like Belmo or any of the guys out there mentally, like they're driven. They can put a lot of hours in. They have resources. They've been doing it their whole life. Name any two-hander like Troop, Belmo, Vi, Simo, Fior, Santu. You know, you give those guys a couple months to learn a straight shot, they're going to do it. The problem is the style has a limit to how low you can get your rev rate. So there is a point where having a reactive ball and playing straight with a high rev rate is very difficult to do. You got to mess with some drillings. So advantages to lower rev rate really just comes in like straighter angles, whatever require a straighter angle. And the game's just a big hook game. I got 4 in a row. Oh, 5 in a row. I could, should we throw a strike counter up there? I've got it. Was this 5? We got 5 in a row. Okay, so of all my 300 challenges, 270 shots on this second lane over here. Where am I at? Right here. This lane. And the most I threw in a row was 5 in a row. Wow, these pins look dirty. And we have thrown 45 shots, exactly half of the total we put in. And we now have more in a row than we did in the 270 shots on that lane over there, which is pretty crazy because I'm not even trying. I was trying. Seven. So do you guys have an RST hyperdrive yet? Because this thing's a beast. Playing Bowler's Mart Pick'ems, and it's crazy hard. What do you mean Bowler's Mart Pick'ems? The DeSantis guy. I've come across some people I've bowled against that mimic their game off Pete Weber. I did it. Will I be coming back to the Western Coast? Yeah. We'll be back to California. Are you in LA? There be no future for 50 and over senior tournaments and leagues if two-handed takes over. Way too many physical issues start up with age. Yeah, we'll see. The guys I know personally don't necessarily have any injuries yet. It does take a lot of pressure off the wrist, but we don't know about anything else. Robin Morrison, good to see you. If I could bring back any storm ball. Oh, if I could bring back any storm ball. Wow. The Idle Pearl. Like the blue one. Like the pink one's okay. I still throw the pink one. I need to drill another one, actually. They might have discontinued it, but yeah, the original blue Idle Pearl. That thing, or the High Road X. High Road X was money, too. You know, and I could take that arsenal to anything. And I got 7 in a row. I guess I should focus. But my arsenal at that time, I guess my best year was 2020. And I had a 6-ball arsenal I could take to any, you could put any length of oil out. It didn't matter. I could do well on it. And the Idle Pearl and the High Road X were my gap balls. So it was Sherlock, Idle Pearl, Phase 2, High Road X, Urethane. And man, and then just put whatever other ball you want in there. The RST2. Oh. It's unfair. It's unfair. We had 7 in a row. OG Idle Pearl hidden away. Yeah, I think Kyle does too. I think Kyle has one at the house in St. Louis. Is Mookie bowling next season? I don't know. Belmo's been doing it since he was 2. Yeah, we'll see. Big oof. I know, man. Dude, it's a bone 9 on the strings? Come on. I mean, it was a little grabby and a little in, but that's why we positioned ourselves to be able to miss. Now we're back to nothing. It's RST, though. It's money. Man, that's the best ball reaction I've had. It must just be a good core for me because I personally think the RST Pearl is the best ball on the market. Bar none. You could drill it any way you want. You could throw it on any surface, on any pattern. This cover's a little strong to be able to do that. That's kind of why I would put the pearl as a little bit more of like a benchmarky, because it's a pearl, but you can still hit it with a little bit of surface and throw it on some oil. It's still a pretty strong ball. And you can obviously throw it on like some drier stuff, some wood. You can polish it. You can drill it pin down to not flare. You can drill it to flare, and they kind of look okay. Oh, man. The strings. Just it's the same as a 9-pin, but it is just a little different. Are there any domestic balls from Storm that would be the equivalent to the RST Crash overseas? I haven't even seen the RST Crash. Origin EX and Hyperdrive in the same bag. Yeah, Hyperdrive is a little bit more angular down lane than Origin EX is pretty slow. Really slow, actually. How come nobody has made a bowling ball called Pearl Jam yet? I don't know. Let's make one. You know? Well, this is my best run of shots yet. There it is. That'd have been cool if that was another 9-pin, actually. If you guys are new here, click that link in the description. There's a free ball giveaway going on next week. We're giving away 9 of them. The winner gets 3 brand new ones with a year worth of coaching, and then 1 a day for 6 days. All right. All right, back to the Rockstar amp. Woo! I noticed back at the Oklahoma Open, you were practicing with Kid. Did he really walk on the lane? What? At the Oklahoma Open, you were practicing with Kid. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, he did. That's my nephew, Jackson. Oh, he was a tiny kid then, man. I think he'll be kind of excited. He's 7 now, but I think he'll get excited when he sees he was in a video when he was that young. I got the Iron Max Equinox Solid, Equinox Pearl, and the Belmo Green and Black ball, Intermagnetic Strata ball at Arsenal. Yeah, Ion Pro Solid. Go some a little weaker. You'll notice a significant difference in the strength of the ball from the all of those to the Ion Pro Solid. Rockstar amped in phase 2, depending on what kind of cover you want, would gap all of those. Whew. Megadon, what's up, man? There's that ring 10. Yeah. Had somebody critiquing me today at the lanes. Pretty frustrating, to be honest. Have I ever had that? Have I ever had critiquing? Yeah, let me tell you about my experience when I walk into a bowling alley. I walk into a bowling alley, and everybody in the bowling alley knows exactly what I'm doing wrong. People I don't know, hundreds of people I don't know. They meet me at the professional tournaments and they shake my hand. It's a great to meet you. You have no balance. Or like they just like they'll say they'll be so excited to meet me and then tell me how much I suck. In fact, have I ever had that? I have that way more than I don't have that. Maybe not, but it's a lot. People are wild, man. What do you think of the Ion Pro hybrids? Great. Andrew Anderson threw it all year, almost won player of the year. You're the best, except your swing. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's pretty relentless. I get DMs. I mean, just, yeah, I guess it's not crazy in the comments, but if I bowl bad in a tournament, they get, you know, which I don't know how I feel about it. It's obviously, wow. It's obviously not fun, but they're not trying to do it. You know, I mean, I don't know about your situation, but you know, being what's the I'm trying to think of like the critique that makes me I don't even know exactly like specifically the critique that makes me like the most angry, but I have felt like a lot of feelings before when someone is like trying to I don't know, tell me I need to throw it different or something. But here's the thing is when you have to bowl against Belmo and all the two-handers and all their transition in an extremely like intense environment, it's very, 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 very different environment than anything else in the world. So there's no way that anybody could have advice on how to navigate like these conditions. And it's all transition. It's not that the conditions are different. It's what ball and how many boards do you move when you go to Belmo's pair, and then how many boards back do you move when you come off of this pair, and then the next pair you got to go to Boog's pair, and the next pair all four lefties started on it, and there's like this. If you've never been out there and bowled and try to navigate the conditions out there from pair to pair, it makes sense why you think you know. Because if you've never tried it, then it seems easy. And I thought I was the same way. It's like, oh, I can go. When I was in college, I was like, man, I average 230 on these patterns. They're nothing. And then you get out there, and it's like, oh no, you have to average 230 doing something completely different every single game. Like there's no getting lined up and it being an accuracy deal. No, you're changing balls every game and doing all types of crazy stuff. Is a rotary gremlin a good ball option or too strong? It's not too strong. Gym, Stealth Mode, and Crypto Boom. I would get the RST Hybrid Drive Pearl, though, over the Gremlin. Hybrid Drive Pearl is the best ball in the market. What is the percentage of PBA having fans or losing fans? I have no idea. He's a coach. He means well, but when I got the earbuds in and I'm in the zone, walking onto my lane help me is frustrating. Walking on your lane to help you is frustrating. Yeah. Trust me, bro. I am. If there's anyone that understands you, it's me. Like I can't get out of the bowling alley without someone wanting my attention, wanting to talk to me, wanting to tell me. But most of it's positive, you know. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple ways to look at it. Like, you have your earphones in, so you don't want to be bothered anyway. And I've been in that position. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm in that position a lot. Averaging 220 on house shot doesn't make you an expert, sorry to say. Yeah, there's just so many levels to this game that you can't. Yeah, that's why going out on tour is it can be such an important part of someone's learning journey in any realm, even a coach. But if a coach just goes out there and watches, then you need to watch what the best in the world are doing to understand where the game's going, what's happening. So right now, this urethane issue that's going on in the industry with USBC not wanting people to throw urethane, this is 10 years in the making. It's just now really getting publicized. It was publicized when they checked like 3 or 4 years ago, but 10 years ago, this was an issue when the original probably Purple Hammer came out, and that's when people really started worrying about the softness stuff. So everything you can learn and all the new tricks and the gimmicks and the drills and the balls and the hand positions and the styles and you can depict what actually makes sense. So if you have a coach that tells you can't have a high backswing, well, Darren Tang had a high backswing when he was one-handed. Tom Doherty has a high backswing. People say not to throw it like Butcher, but then you go out on tour and you throw it. You watch Butcher win tournaments, and you're like, "What am I not supposed to do again?" And it's a big eye-opening. It was eye-opening for me. Just being around the best bowlers in the world, to me, is the best lesson you can get. And if the person giving you that lesson hasn't been around, that's why I like Jazz now. He's won a title. He understands. He understands what it's like to be on a show, the mentality it takes, the opponent aspect, the transition aspect. He understands quite literally down to a T every aspect of the game. I think a bowling alley like this. So your coach need to try to get everyone to finish correctly, but yeah. And I've worked with a lot of people. I really lean into that. I really don't mess with a lot of people's physical games. I really don't, because there are some things that need to be corrected for sure, but a lot of it is like a mentality, not necessarily just a mentality, but just thinking about the game a different way. In terms of you don't necessarily need rev rate to strike. Like throwing 7 and 8 baggers isn't a high rev thing; it's an angle thing, and you create that angle through speed, not rev. And if you give them a couple tricks, and then next thing you know, they caught a turkey because they got an off hit because they didn't overthrow it, and now all of a sudden their swing now all of a sudden they become comfortable and confident, and now I don't want to mess with that game. They're comfortable and confident. What am I gonna mess with? I'm gonna let them do their thing. But if you haven't got the basics of what gets you that confidence, then you can change a lot of things, But if it's not the right thing, or if it's not something that actually makes a big difference in the ball reaction that you're getting, then it's just you're going to stay in that same mentality, and it's going to be hard to improve. That's so funny. The house shot here has no oil, and I can tell off one shot, that 1-2-8-10, I could tell it hooked too early, which means I moved left on that shot, which means I laid it down on this part that has no oil. And there's like 17 different ways I can throw the ball right now and still get to the pocket. So the fact that that one didn't tells me something immediately. And a lot of that matters too. Before before really changing a lot of big things about a physical game is like, are you aware of like when it's the ball, when it's you, what things to look for? And obviously, when you bowl a ton, like if someone just lives in a bowling alley, they're gonna know. They're gonna get it. Angle. They used to mock Arnold Palmer for his golf swing until he dominated the sport. Yeah, I almost want people to be different. But now, if I'm coaching a one-hander, and he's young, there's a good chance I just tell him to go two-handed. But which really simplifies the game. You can't really do a whole lot of there is uniqueness in the two-handed game, but not in the sense of like the difference between Pete Weber and Walter Ray. Super high backswing. You kind of just eliminate that style, the super high backswing. Dang. It's hyperdrive. What's the longest break from bowling you ever taken? A couple months. New to your house this year. Volume oil is light and heads burn up fast. I'm trying to learn how to loft as a 225 average bowler. Be careful because a lot of times when you loft, you overhit it. So it's you got to play with your trajectories. You gotta be aware of your trajectories. If you're low and up hitting it, then it's going to create a certain reaction. If you're a little taller and it's kind of like a little trajectory more down into the lane, but it's coming from a higher place, so there's still loft there, but the angle's kind of this way compared to like a big up balloon there. And like you got to play with your trajectories. But just make sure you're not like totally overhitting it. Because I've noticed when fronts burn up kind of bad, there's times where you can do this. And get the ball to go much straighter. Like you lay it down quickly, you get it off your hand quickly. There's no like real whole lot of grabbing in it. It just kind of just flies off the hand. And then it just shoots through the front part of the lane a little easier. And when I do that, it's harder to have loft. I got to like get a little lower and straighten get my hand a little closer to the lane. Top 3 balls of all time. Matt Leake. I think it was you and Kyle that mentioned lofting in the lane rather than onto it. Yeah, now you got to do what you got to do. So if the people, Ethan Fiore, he can, he does most of his stuff 3 steps, and he can loft it. When he won his title this year, he was lofting it a lot. It's kind of, if you go back and watch Ethan Fiore's title this year and see at the back half of that game, the Players' Championship, where he was playing and how much loft he was using, it's hard to understand how much loft that is just from the TV. It looks normal. It's like, all right, he just threw a normal shot. We're used to the loft now. But like, if you actually go and try and do that, you realize like, wow, that thing gets up there. And to do it with one hand and to get that trajectory is kind of hard. You need like some hip, you need good stability hips to be able to kind of like launch it like that. So it's okay to have a pretty big loss sometimes. But there's also another way. Like, there is a tournament in the U.S. Open in Syracuse that they did the double burn, and a lot of lefties didn't go because lefties struggle on the double burn because there's no more head oil on the right side of the lane, so there's nowhere for them to go. And so a lot of lefties didn't show up. Well, the double burn was brutal. I mean, it was in Syracuse. Lanes hooked a lot, and there was no oil. Some people withdrew. It was ugly. Well, Norm Duke comes in and stands all the way over here. And mind you, the two-handers are throwing it to the pins. Okay, so that's the I guess that's what would you call that? The two-handers have the last laugh because you can put lighter oil on the lane and really try and make rev rate a bad thing, but they will throw it to the pins. They will literally loft it completely over the entire oil pattern if they have to, which is terrible for the lanes. So you have to load them up. I'm gonna lay this one down. You know, I've also noticed like really killing the rev rate as a one-hander. That's kind of a superpower for the one-handed style, is being able to kill the rev rate. So that when the fronts hook, there's less spin in the very beginning, which means there's just going to be a little bit more control. So you can instead of really trying to, you know, master this lofting, get the lofting down. Don't get me wrong, it's an important tool, but you can also achieve length from just getting it off your hand a little quicker and just teaching yourself what less grab is. Now, teaching yourself what less grab is like just dumping into the lane. Like the ball's off your hand here. Ball just drops off the lane. Whereas we're used to holding on to it and then coming up with it. So you got to drop the ball off before the release like actually releases, like behind your butt. And then if you can get the ball off your hand that early, whoosh, straight down, it's not going to read the fronts like it is. It's going to have a much straighter trajectory. And then you'll realize, like, oh, that's what the guys in the old school guys did. The Ernie Schlegels, man, they just dropped it off their hand and it would go 60 feet. Patriots, man. The Patriots. How the heck are these guys that good? Chargers coming back. How's my fantasy doing? Bowling T-Rob. If you know T-Rob, I don't even know if you know who T-Rob is. Trevor Roberts. I've got a 33% chance to win. Who does he have that's killing it? Drake London. Golden. Come on, man. They're in the red zone. And Bijan's not doing much. Wow, how do I have a 33% chance to win? That's crazy. I'm not doing bad. I mean, yeah. Oh, man. T-Rob. He's playing Aaron Rodgers, too. I'm going to lose Aaron Rodgers. Do PBA bowlers ever get negative commands from each other, or fans being rude to you at all? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. How do I get more under the ball and roll it? Just get lower, you know. Do all the things that help you get your hand under. So if you think logically, like, if I want my hand under the ball like this, what's going on in my arm right now? Well, my elbow's not straight. If my elbow was straight, my hand wouldn't be as under it. If I bend my elbow, my whole arm's under it, basically. My whole forearm's under it. So maybe let's try and bend the elbow. That might help. Take some strain off the wrist. That is what they call a load or a coil or whatever you call it. So how do you, what do they call it? A yo-yo? Yeah, that's the yo-yo right here. That's because you can get your hand under it versus not under it, because then it hurts the wrist. Hurts the wrist this way, doesn't hurt the wrist this way. I can get way under it. So the more elbow, and that's what EJ does very well. And that's probably the biggest one of getting under the ball, but then also lower. That way, like wherever the swing path is, your lower body is just a little bit more available, I guess, in a better balanced position. Uh-oh. Was that 90? Did I throw 90 shots? I did throw 90. Uh-oh. Oh, the timer's done. Gotcha. That makes sense. I'll be right back. Before I go, if you have not click that link, enter the giveaway. Bunch of balls given away. Next week. You got 3 days to enter, but don't wait. Can I get another? I'm on the fourth lane, the middle pair, the right lane, and the den. Can I get like another 30 minutes? I appreciate it. I'm YouTube. I'm a YouTube guy. Yeah.
Bro, no way.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm live right now. What's your name?
My name's Jake.
Jake. Nice to meet you.
Hey, did the top guy meet you last night before you left?
Yeah.
Okay. He just started working for us. We had hopes of him being like a man. They were live. I watch him all the time. I know he's gonna do something here, and he's like really good. He wants it on his too yesterday. Can we just keep pushing it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I'll get a sign up. Okay. Sign up. All right.
Yeah, we couldn't beat the council.
All right, I'm coming back. Had to get some more time. I just started bowling up here on like some off hours, so Sundays later on in the afternoons and stuff. So I see people I don't normally see. I don't think elbow bend on the downswing is desirable. Yeah, you got to play with it. Use a lighter ball. Try with a lighter ball and work your way back up. But, I mean, listen, I've seen the good bowlers. It doesn't matter what you tell them to do. So just work on it all. Work on movement of the body. You're not a good bowler if you can't bend your elbow a little bit. You're limited. I'll beat you. I will eventually beat you if you can't bend your elbow. I will find it. I'll dial it in, and then I will have this thing that you don't have, and I will run away with it. And I'm not very good. There's a lot of really great bowlers out there. And if you really try and get under the ball, you don't have to have a lot of elbow bend. You got to, like, everybody's body's different. Everyone has limitations, surgeries, metal parts in their body. So everyone's totally different, but you just have to take the ideas. Okay, I want my hand under the ball. All right. What are a couple things that could really help me do that? Well, one, bending the elbow is one. It does help. Two, getting a little bit lower with your body, not necessarily like with the swing as well, but just standing tall and trying to get the hand under the body, if you let your legs get a little bit lower, everything's not as stiff. You can kind of move things a little easier. So, and I would just start at the foul line. Here, I'll do it. Go up here, and you just swing and bend the elbow. Look how slow that was. That's gonna hook the other way. It's gonna start hooking right. It's hooking right. That's kind of cool. That was really slow. Is that gonna give me ball speed? Oh, it doesn't give me ball speed. This is Aaron's Family Fun Center in Belton. It's I like practicing on strings. It's close to my house, and they have a beautiful facility. New Red Eye or Ion Pro Max for heavy oil pattern. What's the Red Eye? Who makes the Red Eye? Do we make the Red Eye? How do you know about a ball I don't know about? I feel like the Red Eye is Brunswick, right? The curtains on the ceiling are interesting. I know. Like, what is this? But the coloring of the curtains match the coloring of these side pieces on the wall, the X's. This place is great. The fact that I can go live in here, it's quiet. There's no, there's no music that really makes it hard to get monetized. They're distracting, and there's no distracting bowlers. I can just kind of hang out here and talk to you guys. It is the greatest life ever. Have 6 lanes to myself and an audience to talk to. I might never leave. Actually, this right pair over here, the college kids are practicing on it Friday. I think it's got some pattern on it. Curtains make good sound baffles. Talk about footing section. What does that mean? Selection. Footing selection? What does that mean? What rank am I on the PBA? Oh, man. 190th, which is dead last. How do we play medium and heavy oil and get your ball to read the pattern and shape the right way? Victor, I'll give you a couple tips, but you honestly, like, without trying to be like a total salesman, like, if that's like your main thought right now, it would be worth, I can give you a 25% off code. It would be worth purchasing the Master of the Lane series. It's about an hour and a half worth of videos, and maybe a little longer. It's 21 videos, and I'll put a link. Let me get to it. This Master of the Lane, it was really awesome, actually. So if you click that link and just look at the videos that we filmed, you can see the video library there. And we went into it all. I mean, as deep as you can possibly get into it. Like, I can give you some tips now, but we really went into depth about how we see lanes, what we do, what balls we're looking for, how we use each other and the people around us to tell us the information that we need to help us know what moves and what balls and what drillings and the ever-changing oil and what we're looking for on the fresh, on the burn, on the short, on the medium, on the long, on the house. We broke down literally everything. So I struggle on all kinds of patterns. You know, long, heavy oil patterns used to be my jam when I was in college. I had always played left better than everyone my whole life because I grew up in a center with no oil. So I played by the left gutter always. And so I just hooked the ball better than the youth compadres. And then I go to college and I was just better at playing inside. But now I can't give myself that credit because when it comes to hooking the ball and playing inside, you just can't. There's just a lot of rev rate is the two-handers are very difficult because they create a lot of transition as well. So where I used to kind of play my hook shot and just be able to do that for a couple games, I got to move out of that really comfortable hook shot for me in like 6 frames because of all the transition. So I just don't know if a lower rev rate could ever be better at hooking the ball. EJ is just a freak, and Bill O'Neill is too. I mean, yeah, these guys are absolutely insane. But so if you guys click on the master the lane and use code LEAK25, just click on it, enter it in when it's where it says coupon code. It might be the second tab you might have to drop down, but and just make sure it gives you the 25% off before you click. But yeah, I mean, we went into crazy depth on that, so it's totally worth it. It's $100, so 25% off will get you a 20, or it'd be $75, but it's an hour and a half worth of really in-depth coverage. We talk about lane patterns, lane graphs. Talk about how to read a graph, the things we pay attention to, the things we push to the side, all that stuff. And that's a very important. It's probably the most important part about bowling because it's so easy to be hard on ourselves when we make bad shots, when we think we throw a good shot and we 210, when we think we threw it pretty good and 4 pins or 10 pins or big fours, or a lot of times that's telling us something, but we just don't know what it's telling us. And if you bowl a ton, like if you literally spend years and years of struggle and doing dumb stuff and this and that and blah, 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 you just start to piece it together. So that's essentially what Kyle and I have on most of you is we've just bowled 30 million tournaments and we've made all these mistakes where now we're just like, oh, that's, yeah, if you have 4-pin, 10-pin, yeah, you either need to move left or change balls. Who's on your pair? What balls are they throwing? How are we warming up? Are you any good with urethane? Do you know how urethane affects lanes? Do you know how to go to a pair when two-handers threw urethane versus 4 one-handers throwing reactive? Do you know the difference between being able to stay on a pair versus moving in the pairs, or bowling a 5-man team versus a 3-man team? And there's just a lot of factors that go into bowling where it's just you and your shot making isn't it. It's where we go to when we struggle. We kind of just think we stink, and we think our physical game stinks, and we're not very accurate, and this and that. But really, we might not just have a decent understanding of what the lane is asking us to do and necessarily how to do that. Because when you're doing the right thing, you have misread. I mean, and that's all professionals do. That's all they're looking for, man. They don't want to be accurate. Are you kidding me? Like, that's the last thing that professionals want to do is be accurate. That's they obviously have to work on it, but like that's not their main thought. That's already been thought of. Like, they know how to throw a bowling ball. They know what an execution feels like. The only real thing they think about is that formula. What ball do I need? What angle do I need? How much hand do I need? and where do I need to move, and how can I shoot 250 on this pair? Okay, well, I just finished a frame early. They're in the 10th frame. The pair I'm going to is in the 10th frame. I'm going to run down there real quick and just watch them bowl their 10th frame. Okay, they're playing an arrow farther left than me. If I play where I play on this previous pair, and the pair I'm going to, they all bowl 250 and arrow left of me. There's a way you can think about that. It's not ideal that they're left of you. However, it's ideal that they all shot 250 because that's a good pair. So you probably don't have to move where they are since it's a good pair. There's a little bit of room and probably some variability in where you could play. So if it's a good pair, then probably just play where you're playing. Maybe move, maybe not, whatever. But you're excited. If you go to a pair and they're all playing 5 left to you and they all shoot 170, well, then there's a different thought process there. We need to think about this whole game completely differently on how we're going to attack it, because now 2-0 is plus pins. 190 might even be plus pins. And there's a reason for that, because the pair plays tough, which means there are some changes that we may need to make. And what changes do we need to make? Well, now it's tough because the 4 people I just watched on the pair before all shot 170. So I don't know what to do, but I can kind of tell what not to do. So now we're looking at a process of elimination instead of, if we see a pair with 250s, we know what to do. So there's a lot that goes into just understanding why your ball is splitting or actually working or whatnot. And that concept goes to league too. You ever throw urethane often? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I throw urethane more than reactive. I love urethane anymore. Like on a fresh pattern, I don't even screw reactive. And this is what USBC's like afraid of, is urethane just really overtaking reactive balls now that everyone has such a high rev rate. Because if your rev rate's above 500, my rev rate's 400, and I don't like reactive as much as urethane. If it's 500, then you're really going to like urethane a lot more because it's smoother. So as we go on here, less and less reactive is being thrown. And this could be trouble because people are throwing one ball. And, in 2016, 2017, and 18, people were throwing one ball for the entirety of seasons. The pitch black or the purple hammer or whatever you were throwing. I mean, is that a problem? I mean, there's less ball sales there, right? If people are just throwing one orb and one singular ball for 150 games and they never have to switch, like, that doesn't seem ideal for ball sales. But at the same time, why is this urethane ball really doing so much better than these reactive balls, and why are people refusing to throw these reactive balls? And so I get why the USBC is trying to take a stance of like, hey, this isn't going in the right direction in terms of like bowling balls, because we're never going to see another reactive ball go down the lane. So now the PBA is starting to put like 35 and 36 mils of oil on the lane, which is more oil than they've ever put on the lane in the history, and people are still throwing urethane. So I don't really know how reactive is going to play. Interesting. But then, Storm came out with the level, which is just like revolutionary technology. The fact that they can make the level, I don't know if you've thrown it. I haven't thrown it a whole lot, but it's a step different from a urethane ball, but it doesn't roll like a reactive ball. It rolls kind of literally in between. It creates a little bit more shape than reactive, than urethane, but it still kind of has a smooth roll like a urethane ball. Well, that's essentially what everybody wants, If you have a high, really high rev rate, if you have 500 or more revs, then so it's tricky. It's a Equipment right now with the addition of two-handers into the sport is very, very tricky. The ball companies are. Who would have thought urethane would just dominate reactive bowling balls? And I follow a guy. I follow some of the Singapore and Malaysian team members, and one of them's Toon Hakim. And that guy, I just saw his Instagram yesterday. He shot 300 at some international tournament. I think it was maybe Qatar. He's bowling the Qatar International Open. And he shot 300 playing fifth arrow with a purple hammer. And that's eye-opening because what's happening now with the sport is it used to be all one-handed people basically throwing reactive when I was a kid. And this big reactive ball was the thing. People learned how to get their rev rate crazy high. Urethane balls started becoming prevalent, especially on shorter patterns. Wolf, they used to bowl on 32 feet. And then these balls really became, like, ball companies really started putting a lot of money into these balls. The pitch black came about. It probably started around the time of the natural when I first went out on tour. And so now this urethane, so like it is just, they've put so much money in the marketing, not marketing, but just design into these urethane balls. So then it kind of progressed to that, to where now they're just kind of getting thrown all the time, but only really when playing straight on the fresh or on short. And then now I'm watching the international guys who could be slightly better than the Americans now, because the Americans just don't bowl. You bowl 2 to 3 months out of the year. These international guys are grinding tournaments every weekend together, training together, boom, 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 boom. So when I watch him, I get a good look, because these guys are training every day. And to see him shoot 300 with a purple hammer at fifth arrow is like, that doesn't happen right now. That hasn't happened. And he's one-handed. That has not happened in the past, ever since urethane has come about. It has always been a limit to where, like, third or fourth arrow, all right, we're going to reactive. And so it's very obvious to me that urethane has the ability to literally just take out reactive. And if my whole career, I would like, reactive helps lower rev rate, and it's worse for higher rev rate. So for me, I would rather urethane be thrown, or reactive be thrown. And that guy is saying he'd rather throw urethane than reactive. When I lay this ball down, when it hooks immediately, I don't strike. It'll plaque a 10, it'll almost 8-10 that one time. Belmo didn't start the two-handed style. It's always been around. It's just the first time in history it's really looked amazing. This first time in history there's been enough oil in the lane where you could really dial in that much rev rate and turn a real strategy into it. I think Simonson's better than Belmo when Simon won his first major title at 19 years old when I was in high school. Yeah, but Belmo didn't go on tour until he was 27 or 28, so, you know, he was a late bloomer. And I think that might bother him a little bit. I don't know. But I know he wishes he would have went out and won some titles earlier. I don't know if he was good enough. I don't think he was. I think that's why it took him to 27, 28. He had to grind the Asian tour for a little while and figure out some tricks. And even when he first went on the tour, he wasn't amazing. He wasn't amazing until he slow hooked it. Once he learned how to slow hook it, then he became amazing. Hammer Fab Burgundy? No. Two-hander in 1987 in the PBA. Yeah, there just wasn't enough oil. So they used to like run the lanes and then have like 4 squads with no real oil. So by the time you got to the night block, there was just quite literally no oil on the lanes. Have I ever had hip pain? Of course, every day. How is the level different than the Tropical Surge? Tropical Surge is going to be a lot like weaker in the first 30 feet and a lot more angular in the last 30 feet. The level is going to be fairly smooth, urethane-like. IQ Tour style, phase 2 or high road? Phase 2. Yeah, I've had hip pain. I'm tight. I get tight a lot. Ugh. Tight right now. I got 14 more shots. I'll end this at 2 o'clock, and then I'm going to go watch a Chiefs game, baby. So what I need to do, actually, is I need to practice up here all the time. I'll tell you why. I get to a point where I've thrown enough shots. If I go left or right, there's enough hook on the lane to where the middle part of the lane starts to hook. Well, you get left, they don't put any oil out here. I don't know if this is the house shot or not, but and when my ball hits this section with no oil on the last 7 boards, and that's what it's like bowling against Belmont. Like, he will wreck. Man, he will wreck a lane. So now I got to play a little bit. So I got to loft it over that section. So I'm going to play left and just not lay it down in the draw. I'm going to loft it. And it'll strike. But if I lay it down, it doesn't strike. I want to bowl in a plastic ball only league. Oh, man, that sounds terrible. This P. Weber modern release. Yeah, I stretch. Yeah. But a lot of consumption causes that. You got to make sure you're not breathing in any toxins or mold or eating terrible food, or there's a lot of things that we consume that is hard not to consume that causes inflammation. I'll lay down. I'm gonna tell Soroka, man, like, you gotta put a little oil in the front on the left side. Knee pain. People I follow online that talk about knees are mostly like, knees over toe guy. Just Google that guy. He'll tell you everything about knees. A lot of walking backwards, a lot of slanted boards, a lot of this stuff. Like just a lot of body weight movements. But he's got the knee down to the science. He had complete knee restructuring, and he can dunk. On tour, when you guys stay at hotels or houses, who's the best cook? Well, no one really cooks. And I cook, but I only make ground beef, so I wouldn't necessarily consider that cooking. It's kind of hard to mess that one up. Come on. This is when I start to struggle a little bit. Let's see what this pin down Rockstar does. Haven't even thrown it yet. 645 in team event this year with it. Could you imagine being excited about 645 at Nationals? Donnie done it. At your center, mild sounds dumb, but when I had knee pain, I was, since sliding correctly, I was planting. Have you ever engineered a ball with Storm? What kind of ball would I design? Oh, man, I don't even know. It's just a phase 2. You know a ball I really liked when I was young? Was the X Factor Ace. What strategy next season? Oh man, there's no strategy. There's not a strategy. There's be as good with a bowling ball as possible, meaning whatever angle, whatever drill you need, whatever ball, whatever. You got it in the bag and you can do it for about 40 shots in a row. But it's just very difficult. Watching some of those guys play the lanes and the angles they play, it's very hard to know where you should throw it. But this is kind of my nemesis right here. Like this is I think a lot of the high rev guys would just loft it. Maybe it pays to have a high rev. I don't know, but when you get inside and it feels like it's playing downhill and like you gas one a pinch and it just like 210s, or you pinch one inside of your marking at 210s, and then you get it out a little bit and it overhooks immediately. That's when I struggle, and that's when the loft starts coming into play. Like that's gonna hook. So if I move inside of that, then at like 210s and stuff. That's only from this angle, but this where you lay the ball down, where I'm laying the ball down right now, is pretty much where you lay the ball down on every pattern. I mean, eventually every pattern gets to that point. And these are strong balls too. I just very clearly should just ball down, but so now if I get it going to the right, it overhooks. If I get it going to the left, it underhooks. And they're string pins, so it's kind of hard to get the plaque tin out anyway. The high rev guys would jump way left in front of the ball return and just loft over the gutter cap. And then a guy like Norm would probably just move right and try and play this friction. Why did that do that? Oh, my time ran out again. Bowling strings versus freestanding. Yeah, there's a difference. You think that lane's broken? I hope that lane's not broken. First time me hitting the rack on string pins. Don't tell anybody. But I think we're good. I think they've proof tested those. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here and go watch the Chiefs game. Any other questions? We do have some clinics coming up. If you're interested in a clinic, let me know. East Coast, Bethlehem, January 17th and 18th. You get a bowling ball with it. So if you're interested in clinics or have any questions about anything, email us. I'll put that email. Any questions, concerns, whatever. We're open to always chatting with you and seeing what you got going on and what you want and how we can help. We do have the Master of the Lane series. I put that in the comment. I'll comment that again right now. So that's our Master of the Lane series. 21 videos on everything, patterns, ball motion, any pattern you could think of. Just look at the list of videos. Use code LEAGUE25 at checkout to receive $25 off. It'll be $75. So that's on like lane conditions and lane play and pattern. I'm telling you, I think you'll really get a lot out of it. And it's a good amount of time watching. So, and then also Dodgers. I know, man. I didn't even stay up for it. I thought the Dodgers were no good. I'm like, you know what? It's the 5th inning or 6th inning. Man, the Blue Jays are just on fire. They've got all the momentum. They're at home. And then I wake up, and even the first headline I saw made it seem like the Blue Jays won, and then I saw So, so congrats to Mookie. Maybe he's watching right now. Maybe Mookie's watching. You know, what's up, Mookie? Ball giveaway next week. Don't miss out. We're giving away a ton of stuff. So, and we're going to be in Vegas next week. So, bowling a regional there next weekend. We'll be vlogging and doing all that stuff. So, all right. Enjoy watching football and enjoy your Sunday. Have some good food. And